Well, folks, we're taking our last trip down to Chuckalise as this is the finale episode, our review of PValley, episode 8, Murder Night. As you can see, the crew's here. This was an amazing season and ride thus far. We got so much we want to cover for tonight with this episode. Hopefully, you had a chance to view it. I mean, at this point now, if you haven't watched STARZ today, I don't know what you've been doing because, like, outside of PValley and Power, like STARZ was killing it right now. I mean, even having other shows trying to release early to duck that wreck. But but fellas, how y'all doing tonight?
I'm good. I'm relaxed.
I just want everybody to get down to the casino. I need to know why no one on this show says casino. No one does. It's casino. When Big L said it, when he walked through the line where the youngin was like, I ain't signing no, you better sign this petition for this casino.
I got family down Alabama. That's where this show makes me want to call them up so bad because their down south accents are wild. Like I
just need you to say casino. I need to know if it's a show or all y'all say casino. That's all I need to know.
I see none of you all wore black, so I guess it's safe to say that we were not going to be attending any funeral of any sorts tonight. As we got,
I hope.
I did too. I tell you what. The first thing I want to talk about is like when I saw the preview for this week, last week, I knew no one was going to die. I could just tell how. First of all, I would have been perfectly fine if they would have never showed the clip of Uncle Clifford in all black, as if she's getting ready to attend the funeral. But I already knew since that had his grandma, right? Grandma, yeah,
grandmother,
yeah,
grandmother.
I already knew since the two of them had on funeral clothes. I was like, well, she's not really tight knit with no one, so like definitely not coming out the house on behalf of nothing. But the only thing that mattered to her, the Pynk. So that was, for the build up mystique for the finale, that was a missed opportunity. They should have never had that in there.
But it was also the strippers. You see, all of them were going upstairs dressed in their funeral best. They set it up to me. They set that up beautifully because you didn't know what the hell was going on.
I not one bit of me think that anybody was going to die.
Oh, man,
I thought it was going to be Diamond or Big L for sure.
Exactly. Look, I was counting them down as I thought it was going to be Miss Mississippi at the end. I said, okay, it's going to be Miss Mississippi.
She wasn't going.
She gonna run in there and get shot by mistake.
Well, and then
we gonna get into her. We gonna get into her.
Are we ever?
You can't write off pivotal characters too early. I mean, a lot of people are invested in. Because I mean, right now the show is working on all cylinders, and you start moving pieces around, such as killing people off. We've seen it.
You can take out one character. It just can't be as long as it's not Uncle Clifford. It ain't Mercedes, and it ain't all. You can take out any one of them.
Or
any other character you can take out.
Look at Empire. They killed Andre. I mean, not Andre. You know the guy. That guy.
I know who you talking about,
Jesse. You mean
man?
He did his own. He did his own.
They even killed Andre's wife.
First of all,
early on in this, like it's possible.
Not even the same comparison here. That show killed its own self off.
Hey, here you go. I got a better comparison for you. Granted, the shows aren't at all similar. Game of Thrones killed a main character in the first season.
Right?
That show kept on going with no issue.
And Jon Snow came back.
Yeah, but no, not Jon Snow. They killed the father. They killed him in the first season. And he was the biggest cast member, and they killed him in the first season. So I'm saying it's possible that they could have went that angle, and Miss Mississippi would have made just the most sense because you like to take a character down as they're on a rise, and she looked like she was going to better herself, and then magically she gets shot down by gunfire,
right?
And then it makes all the strippers of the Pynk unite together and fight for them and grandmother.
That's exactly what I didn't want. Because I feel like this is that lazy writing of people doing that same conventional killing off of a person to make everybody come together over and over and over. That's why I'm so glad they didn't take that. They didn't take that route. Like this was different.
Oh yeah.
That's why it was. I felt like the curveball played to the simple-minded people. It was like, oh, somebody's going to die, and they swung it another way. It's like, yeah. It was them going to something that meant the most to them, and the
funeral for the
funeral,
Pynk.
the bidding, but funeral for the Pynk. So I thought that was just much better. But like at
that
the
was
same
clever.
Hey, and do you
But
see
at the
the
same
angel
time-
show up though? I love the symmetry there.
Yeah,
With the angel showing up. Come
exactly,
on, man.
exactly.
Come on.
So that
Versus the devil.
Yes.
Versus the devil.
Yes.
It was the angel versus the devil. That's why they dressed them two that way. It was very, very good the way they
Look at
plotted
you
that out.
using that good big old brain of yours. Go ahead, boy.
The funny thing about it, the red is not even forced. I can totally see that character wearing colors like that.
Me too, no doubt.
Hey,
no doubt. 1,000%.
Isaiah
It
Washington
fits his
has
character.
Isaiah Washington has been killing that role this
He
year.
invoked that character like he knew him personally.
Exactly.
Like he's seen him, he studied him, he goes to him like, am I doing this right? Like he is enthralled in that character 1,000%.
All right, let's get into some topics for the night for this show. So first of all, the first thing I've been saying from the last couple of reviews is that we've never seen Mississippi's boyfriend actually see her stardom on display. And I knew the moment that he did, he was going to eventually show his territorial predator instincts, in which we saw him we see her at her highest peak. You know, you got her trying to be recruited for a record label or something of some sort.
We're gonna talk about that one, but yeah,
whatever that is. But we see her at her highest plateau, and her boyfriend's there, and he's just not having it at all. And then at the same time, the other thing that I also said was going to happen, and I said business and pleasure, and we seen where Little Murda and Uncle Clifford, Little Murda's working out his deal with his managers, and Uncle Clifford comes in trying to give some, lovin's on the side. We look, business and pleasure, we knew it was going to get sloppy. There was some mild tension there. So the question, just to kind of start off with everything, is just like, what was the most, out of those two moments, like, what do you think was the most impactful for the rest of the show? Like, once you kind of seen that kind of manifest, like, where did it kind of take you emotionally for the rest of the show? Oh, Jamal, you can go first.
Honestly, it made me, if anything, I think that Uncle Clifford jumped prematurely into a situation that did not involve him. Like, it's one thing to big up your significant other, but in that business that he was conducting with the rep, Uncle Clifford had no business being there. Granted, it's his club, so he has every right to be everywhere. But at the same time, she it's her club. But at the same time, Uncle Clifford didn't need to be nowhere near that meeting of sorts. But it showed you how vulnerable it made Lil Murda, because now Lil Murda is at this crossroads where he's like, do I really want to live this lifestyle loving this person I've come to love, or do I want to only deal with it in the shadows because this opportunity is not going to come around again? And so that, to me, put a strain on what Lil Murda may actually do going forward, because I don't think that rep is going to take him serious. As we've seen him say, that rep is not going to take him serious if Mississippi isn't there with him. So it's like he's being pulled in two different directions, and I don't know what we're going to get from Uncle Clifford and Lil Murda. I literally just joined their names together. Jesus, that's gonna be a hashtag. I really don't know where that relationship is going to go going forward. So that's my thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean, kind of to echo off that. Here's how I look at this. Yeah, there was business being done, and when Uncle Clifford handles the business, then Uncle Little Murda. I'm about to start doing the same thing you're saying. Little Murda. The bottom line is business and pleasure should have never been mixed. And then when Little Murda's trying to handle all his business, Uncle Clifford is coming in not to really benefit the scenario, but to kind of be the side piece, and that doesn't help. When Uncle Clifford is handling business, Little Murda's nowhere to be found. And I think that I did not expect to see Uncle Clifford come in that statue, but I think it's just a true display of how much he loves Little Murda. So I get it, but like I instantly knew the moment that started that they started to saying like let's take the next level step and putting it on display, they were going to have an incident like this. And it's like it seems like it's a little small fallout right now, but I think it's going to be problematic anymore. I mean, even when Lil Murda threw the mink out in the crowd, Uncle Clifford was not having that. Not having that. But
that James Brown moment.
But to you, Lou, what's your thoughts on like seeing Mississippi doing what she does best, becoming a megastar, but just that presence of her boyfriend being in the crowd and how that really manipulates her everything that she's working on.
That constant hater keeping her down no matter what. It seemed like when she was on stage, he realized just how successful she was and how important she seemed. And the more attention she got, the madder he got. Like, and that is a sign of someone who's extremely controlling, that they can get so mad over your success or other people paying any attention to you. Like it's one of those telltale signs. Unfortunately, we see it in a lot of shows. So we kind of knew that this is where we were going to go with this character. But here they did it well. And that was the key part of it. Because again, this is something that happens in so many shows. You got to be very careful how you execute the setup of the jealous boyfriend and his reaction to the females or his significant other's success. And that's what it was. To me, it actually, her situation and Little Murda's situation are kind of similar, of both of their significant others seeing their success and then both of them going back to their natural reactions. Meaning Derek's natural reaction was to be mad and angry about it. Uncle Clifford's natural reaction was to be supportive because of it. So I think they did a great thing of countering both of them two characters together to show their significant others and how they will react to them receiving success. And it was sickening, especially with Derek and Miss Mississippi.
Yeah,
because I think with this character, and we're going to talk about it later on in the episode, everything else that happened, but it's kind of a tragic thing that we're kind of used to seeing. But in this situation, in these type of shows, it normally goes the other way around. It normally goes where she goes with the good guy instead. And here, what they showed her do is more realistic, because that's normally what would happen in real life and not in TV land.
But I think it also worked out for her favor, because as we see, he has the rep has ill intentions for Miss Mississippi anyway.
Oh, we ain't even gonna talk about that rep. Look here, you should look here.
Well, look, I
want to get into the rep. I really want to get into everything he was selling, because
he said the key word and everything I knew after that was fraud. He said 360 deals. Yeah,
exactly. I was listening to him say that, and I was like, "Do these fools not know what 360 deals mean? Like, how y'all so green to that?"
He was pitching it like it was the best thing in the world. I'm talking about, man, you can say,
like,
man, I'm gonna get you that 3. Who else can get you a 360? Nigga, anybody who want money from me can get 360.
He was pitching like it was sliced bread. Like, who else you know got sliced bread?
I can
get that for you.
I'm gonna get you Nike. He's like,
when he offered a stripper a Nike deal.
Who does that? Like, who?
I'm trying to think what shoes she gonna be pushing. Is they gonna be Roches? Like, I need to know what shoes.
They gonna be them Nike. They gonna be them Nike Hill Air Force Ones. That's what they gonna be. That's exactly what they're going to be.
Yeah. Oh shit! When he said, "I'm gonna get you a deal with Nike," I'm gonna get you. Even the fake manager was like,
Wally was like,
"Nigga, what the hell are you talking about?" But I mean, it was. I think that helped show us just how crooked everyone else is in Chuckalissa. That you bring this dude in from the South, I guess Atlanta. He's supposed to be coming from Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
The promoter, the guy. And the first thing you're trying to pitch to Little Murda is a 360 deal, which anyone who knows anything about music, you know how horrible a 360 deal is. Like, you're not pushing something I want. It was a very funny moment, but it also put the picture on what people may think of Little Murda having an actual career.
Yeah.
Because he said he's a dime a dozen. I could put on a trap beat and have my grandmother make a trap album, but she
with Pro Tools.
Yes. So I think it's helping to build up just how big Miss Mississippi could be going forward in the show. That you got someone who's looking at her like, no. He's getting on, but you're the star. You're the main attraction. Mm-hmm. We just listen to his music because of the shit that you can do on a pole while he's rapping.
Mm-hmm.
Gloria Velez or Melissa Ford or any of those people who you used to watch music videos for, and you didn't know what the hell was saying in the song, but they were killing it so much you paid attention to the song.
You got a point.
Where would Nelly be with Tip Drill without those chicks in the background? Because the song sucks. But where would
no, it's Sade from it's the comedian that made Tip Drill what it is. Go ahead.
Exactly.
That credit card.
So
exactly.
I guess my next thing I kind of want to talk about is like Diamond. So I know a lot of people thought Diamond was going to be the one to take the L, but I mean, again, I thought it would have been lazy writing to have this person who has been, so I guess you can say it's safe to say he's suffering from PTSD and then kind of found his zen and really working on self-care and a lot of other self therapy that he does. And for him to have been the one to get killed, I just didn't see the logic in it, because I think that his character may potentially have the most depth of everybody as of right now. But I do have a really, 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 really important question I need to ask you all. How is this ex-military SEAL, I believe he was, getting taken to town? He even got de-armed. What? So, but in fairness, I just want to say
it's a key part to that. It's a key part.
Why was he so off the entire night? What was it? He left the fake ID in the club. He didn't attend suit to the VIP room like he usually does, because you know this guy is a chameleon or a fly on the wall. He's everywhere, but he was off everything. What was the key moment for him in this episode that just really took him out of his norm that we've seen him in all the previous episodes?
I think it had to do more with it being the last night of the Pynk, because again, he let the little kid in with the fake ID for that reason. He said it's the last night. Go ahead, stay in school. Like, go ahead, stay in school though. And I think because of the amount of people who were coming in the Pynk, he couldn't move the way he wanted to. That's why he kept on calling Big L like, "Hey, I need you to do this. I need you to do that." He like, "Man, I'm out in the front. Niggas is trying to bring guns and everything into the Pynk." Literally showed that. But as it relates to his situation with Derek, I think the key part we all have to remember, they literally have never told us what the hell Derek does. Clearly, Derek does something and Derek knows how to handle himself mighty well, because he beat the hell out of Diamond at one point. Granted, at the end, Diamond was going to kill him. Sure going to kill him. But Derek held his own. So that lets us know, okay, we haven't explored anything about this character besides he beats on Miss Mississippi. Now the issue is going to be, or now the thing that's shown the next season is who he is and why he does that. Because after him holding himself with, because again, in a typical show, Diamond would have beat the hell out of him. And I love on this show, they was like, nah, Derek can fight. Like, Derek can fight. Like, he
like
just gonna get his ass whooped for no reason.
Like white men can't jump.
Exactly. Oh, but that's a good thing to show too. It's a wrinkle that you didn't expect to see coming, is that Derek can actually handle himself, because it makes you wonder even more, why the hell does he beat her and why is he so controlling? I'm more interested to see where they go with Derek in the coming season after what happened in this one.
I will to echo as far your last statement. I am intrigued to see where they take the storyline of Keyshawn and Derek as to what it is he has over her that manipulates her in such a way that he has that power over her. Because as we're watching the severe ass whipping that Derek is putting on Diamond, I'm looking at this man and his moves he's on. I'm like, what is he, a WWE wrestler on the weekends? Like, he is like
It was
destroying
MMA
this man.
moves. It was
who
MMA
is
moves. I
twice
know
his
him.
size.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, what the hell is going on here? Like, we are rooting for you, Derek. Get up. But I don't know. But one thing I will say this, though. Sorry, I didn't mean to make you choke, Lucas. One thing I will say is what you've been saying all season long, Nadia, and that is the writers did not write this for it to be the typical of what we're used to. We're used to seeing the woman beater be this almost frail character that overpowers his woman. However, when a man steps in, he falters and becomes nothing and is beaten on and demolished by the Captain Save-A-Ho, if you will. Whereas in this aspect, it wasn't the same. It was like, no, I could beat her ass and your ass too. So that's the way it came with it. I mean, it really was that situation because he was really giving Diamond that work. But the thing that really bothered me the most was that Keyshawn's devotion to Derek. Like, Diamond is standing up for you. He's trying to get you out of this situation. And you're willing to kill this one man who's been doing nothing but trying to help and save you for this man that berates and beats you. Because even when we see the exchange between Keyshawn and Derek earlier in the club after her meeting with the promoter, she was like, am I going to be upset? Am I going to regret coming home? When he tells her, you're going to regret not coming home. So I was rooting for Diamond, but Diamond need to go back in the training.
I think Lou got a point here. Like, first of all, when it comes down to Mississippi's boyfriend, what's his name? You keep saying, I keep forgetting his name.
Derek.
Right. He also has a flock of guys that he's always with that somehow always disappear when things get rough. But I am also getting MMA vibes from what I'm seeing here. And I'm also, I mean, by the choreography of the fighting, I think there's a certain aesthetic to it that looks real MMA-ish, more of a brawler. But like, I can see that. But I do, again, I love how it wasn't just a traditional womanizer who's just some, self-puny little guy that's just, takes all his insecurities out on her and, can't hold his own legs under him. So, but I think there's this aggression to him that just in every bit of walks of life that he does, which makes me feel like he might be in MMA even more. That kind of correlates why this is why he is who he is. Doesn't justify it, but I think that's going to be his story, is that he's one of these guys that just all he knows is fighting. And
Roid Rage or CTE or something of that nature, which would be a good thing to throw in to this show with a character. So I think it is going to head down to that path somehow, some way.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we have to talk about Mercedes and her. The only person that understood something was happening.
Mercedes.
All right. Let's talk about Mercedes up and down, because Mercedes I thought had a really interesting episode. So number one, Mercedes is trying to work $10K out of Coach. Hey, Coach keep on trying to save her.
Hey, Coach wants all bits of her. But it's funny because Coach, she wants the 10K from Coach. Coach like, all right, well, I went in on the business. She's like, no. I'm a little confused about how this whole idea of like, hey, I need money for a business, but you can't be a part of it. Thing was going to work.
How you opening up a dance studio for cheerleaders and someone named Coach wouldn't be the perfect partner to have. You got to explain. Come on, Mercedes. Come on, Mercedes.
Oh,
she got to get it together here, Joe.
But you got Mercedes trying to get 10K from Homeboy, but you also got her being very aware of the Autumn situation, how she was easily able to put that together. I really loved how she worked that scenario. I mean, that's right there is what you call a best friend. Like, she came to the rescue in the most stealth efficient way she could.
Mm-hmm.
When she broke that bottle, she's ready to throw down. Although I would have probably suggest you should have broke it over my man's head. But hey, those swings. Look,
let me tell you.
She did that before.
Hey,
life.
Let me tell you, this episode has some amazing choreography in everything it did. We already know the dancing's there, but the fighting in this is unlike anything I've seen in the show. Like I've seen terrible fighting scenes in shows that calls to this audience. But the two in this one was very like cinematic, if you ask me. Like it legit had me like at the edge of my seat, like this is getting real. And I think that they compiled the action so good in this episode that it just kept you invested that you really forgot that it was an hour episode. But like it was just so much happening. But yeah, Mercedes, when she swung the bottle, that scene and how they worked that was amazingly done. But yeah, like you said, Jamal, yeah, she's definitely done that in real life before because that was
it was too slick.
She knew exactly where to crack the bottle at.
Yeah,
not too high up of the bottleneck, not too low. Right to get that rigid edge. You know what I'm saying?
She was
like
she
that
was
one
ready.
good stick, and you out there. You know what I'm saying?
I guess, I was gonna say, I guess I just don't know where should we go with Mercedes, because you have those two instances. You have her trying to rekindle things with her mom. That didn't happen. And then you ultimately have her, still having to stick around with the Pynk. I mean, she's more valuable than I guess she ever thought she was. But at the same time, the real cash cow, the new owner of the Pynk, is probably her best bet instead of these other ways that she was trying to do, which I guess I can't phantom the idea why she didn't just ask Autumn for the 10K, but whatever.
Why ask when she offered it to you and you gave it back?
Because it's still that moment of I'm going to owe you. It's still that moment of I'm going to owe you. And at that time, Mercedes didn't think that her future would pan out to the way that it is. You know what I'm saying? She's thinking that she is going to go somewhere where she's not going to have to need the assistance to owe somebody back. You know what I'm saying?
She going somewhere to take it up with her Lord, as her mom said.
Listen,
hey,
even in that scene, I don't think she came to her mother so much out of trying to rekindle a relationship, where so she was trying to plead with her to get her gym back. I think that might have been part of it. I don't know. This is just me being hopeful in a dream.
that gym is long gone. It's looking more and more like a church.
Because let me tell you something. I knew the gym was. I know the gym is gone, and I knew it was gone when she got up on that door, banging on the door, and it had the new church name on the glass. And I'm like, damn, like it's really a church. But I'm gonna agree with you. I wanted to say this. The choreography with the fight scenes, I'm gonna be honest with you, I wasn't actually too thrilled with this episode to the point where it's actually the fight scenes that were better than the acting this episode for me. But there were some high cinematic moments in the show where that whole dynamic of Mercedes being so in tune with Autumn to the point is like, it's coming back to her now while she's in the conversation with Coach, and she's like, give me a minute, I'll be back. Because it's now starting to click, like Autumn didn't have that look on her face for no reason. And she went back to save her, you know what I'm saying, in a sense, because she knew something was up. Because when she heard her, because think about it, she said her real name. We don't know Autumn as Haley. We only know Autumn as Autumn.
But remember, it's because of the fat kid that came in.
Exactly.
That was a hell of a move from her man.
But that was after she was already with Coach.
Yes.
And she was going off somewhere. She was going off somewhere, and she ran into the fat kid. He was like, man told me to give you this. And that's when she put two and two together to try to run to Haley's aid. But it I don't know. I'm rooting for Mercedes, but I feel like she's going to have. I feel like this has crippled her somewhat, and she's going to have to really build herself back up to what she was. Because I feel like now she's been stripped naked. Because she didn't even show up for the funeral for the Pynk.
I think that could have been the point of everything that happened. When when things hit a crucial breaking point for her, for whatever happened in the VIP room, because they clearly still didn't show us, but from what we could glean from it, everything, Mercedes is the person who possibly pulled the trigger, because that's what it seems like. Like Mercedes was the person who killed them, and that's why she went back to her mother, because they say when you're broken,
right.
You will always go, no matter your relationship with your parents, at times when you are broken, you will go back for that comfort that was once there. And her mother rejecting her, like, no, take that over your God. Not here. She had to go to the person who's been the mother for her, and that is Uncle Clifford. And that's why I think that's why that scene was so powerful, from when she's about to speak and say, well, about last, and that was last night. We moving forward. Like, don't dwell on that. We got you. Hold up, who's at the Pynk now? Which one of y'all are at the Pynk? I just heard the police car go across. So
shut the hell up. You play too much.
I think that's why that scene was so powerful, because it really is to strip Mercedes down for her to have to be built up. Because I don't think she's going to go back to stripping. I don't think that's her option at this point. I think her option is just to get her life in order. We know she got 10K. She needs another 10K. I think she's going to have to take that deal with Coach, and that's going to give more exposure to that character, along with my main man who's in jail now for giving the wrong person his ankle bracelet. Like, I think that's Mercedes' Maine. That, damn, his name is Maine. Jesus Christ, this is country. Maine and Mercedes. Shit. Like, like
they
I think, like, again, they name these characters, man. They name these characters Maine. They name these characters Maine and Mercedes. Maine and Mercedes. But I think
more grandmother.
Yes. I think that's the whole point of it. When we get to the end of the episode, especially coming off everything with Mercedes, we're seeing a bunch of characters that's been stripped down. And we're going to have to go through the next season to rebuild these characters up. Because even though at the end everything worked out fine, Haley is still, like, broken. Uncle Clifford is still broken. And Mercedes is still broken. So all those characters have to be built back up.
I love that you say her name like that.
That's the way.
I love that you say her name like that. But I disagree. I don't think Haley is broken. I think, if anything, this empower Haley. Because now Haley is like, oh, nah, we got work to do.
What I mean by broken is that you broke her down. You took her to her bottom. So she's just, at this point, she's climbing back up again.
Right.
She may be at a more advanced stage than Mercedes and Uncle Clifford is, but that don't mean that she hasn't been broken down to that point and she's not going to go back up again. Like, she clearly is, because, again, she managed to still take the money and empower herself. But in a way, I know they're going to play that she's going to feel indebted to Mercedes and Uncle Clifford because of what happened in that room.
You got to stop saying her name. Because you're going to kill me. I'm trying to. Because you say it perfect. You say it perfectly.
Look, one other thing. I mean, we ain't talk about a little bit about Little Murda and what's potentially next for him and his career. First of all, I think that seeing this character this season, which could have went a ton of different ways, to be honest, but seeing him actually become a star, actually understanding he's a star, understanding that he's marketable, because, you know, they used him and they filled up the Pynk. Him being around the right people now. I mean, you know, Uncle Clifford, you definitely gotta give props to that. I'm pretty sure that Uncle Clifford's the one who styles him. Mississippi and lifting him up and having him embrace the star, and then even with Wody, who's become a good mouthpiece for him. So he's definitely set for success. And I think that when you talk about a first season and how good this show did, I think that in its entirety, the Little Murda's character arc has just been well done, to the point that I have almost no clue where they go with him next. Yeah. I mean, because it's one
that's totally up in the air.
I feel like they wrote him so good, but so safe, and the safe to the matter of, like, what if this is the last season? You know, to think that, you know, if it was a one and done, to think that, hey, I learned something from the Lil Murda character, like, and you know, I think it's going to be even a staple in characters, or even a character that, you know, a lot of other characters in the future may reference, because they did so many different things with him that we just typically don't see. You know, rappers typically, you know, get around the wrong crew. He makes the wrong, you know, stupid mistakes. He ends up getting killed. I mean, he continues the violent streak. And there's so many different stereotypical things he could have just did. I mean, one, he never got caught up with the cops. Like they didn't do none of the regular stuff they could have did with here. He just was progressively learning to be better at his craft, and ultimately just be better in what he wants to pursue. And I thought that was just really well done. So I think, like, looking forward to next season, like Lil Murda is going to be like one of the most intriguing characters. And then obviously we got what's going to be the new regime for the Pynk, and Autumn now running it. Uncle Clifford is our partner. I guess
I'm so sorry.
Grandmother is
grandmother.
Exactly. Say it right now.
There's no D. It is grandmother.
I swear to God, I almost wanted to start the review over so I can get my Southern dialect right.
Gotta get it right.
I mean, I should have been drinking me some good wild turkey right now and just going forward.
Or some Johnny Walker Black.
I ain't gonna tell you.
And a Black and Mild.
That's why I can say Mercedes.
But seriously, what are you all looking forward to for the next season? Where do you want to see them go? How do you think they're gonna go? Hell, when do you think we're gonna see it back? But overall, what are you looking forward to come for season 2 of Chuckalisa's PValley?
Wow.
You said the whole word right. I definitely want to see more grandmother, because Loretta Devine, I'm telling you, the minute she steps, everything she's in, she's stealing it. Like even her quick little saying at the auction, that right there, when she was like, "That costs more than my coochie," like you was like, "What did she just say?" She's like, "What kind of a hoe is you?" And then when she was like, "What's your name?" and she said, "Haley," I was close. Like, I definitely need to see more of her, because she too is one of those people that you need, because she gonna give it to you straight how it is. You know, Uncle Clifford, he's somewhat there, but he's not. He doesn't stand as firm. He puts on a good show that he's standing firm in what he is, but he's still scared. Even after he gives you that affirmation that you can do it, he still is reserved himself in not being sure of it. Whereas because Loretta Devine's character has been there, done that, she's seen the worst of what can happen, she's going to give it to you how it is. So I definitely want to see more of her, because she's actually the one who said, last night was yesterday, tomorrow's today, and all that other stuff. She's the one who said that, like, we can't sweat what already happened. We gotta worry about now. What I hope does not happen, I hope they don't do Lil Murda how we've seen in every show that has that DL character that has the come to Jesus moment.
Oh man.
And next thing you know, it's all rainbows and glitter and spark. Hell, listen, creators, please do not do that. We don't want you to do that. We appreciate it if you just make him open, but don't make him a queen. Like, please don't. Just leave it alone.
You're the only one that could broach on that subject. I'm not touching it. I don't think I should be the only one that can be okay with that. I think that not okay,
I'm not saying that.
It's
I know what you mean. I can't be the. I don't think that because I am of that community that it's okay for me to say it. I'm not saying it because I'm a part of it. I'm saying it because I'm a black man, that I don't want to see another black man be a stereotype, a caricature in entertainment. That's my point of it. So hell, if he was gay, straight, whatever the point may be, don't make this man be a stereotype that we've already seen done before in these other shows that we thought were so good. That's what I don't want to see. That's all I can say. I do want the girls to get more into themselves, to be as far as to being bosses. I definitely am intrigued to see where Big L's character is going to go now that he got this situation with Gidget's boyfriend with the pills and all of that. And I do want to learn more about Diamond's background as far as why he is the way he is. But I earlier what I said as far as the character development, more of grandmother, and just don't fit that stereotype with Lil Murda with him and his sexuality. That's all.
That stereotype could really hurt the show. I don't think
really
they will do it.
That's why I don't want it to go there.
Man, it is no telling at times what people do when they feel pressure to do things and they go over the top with it when it's unnecessary for this. I don't want it to go both ways though. Meaning, I don't want to go where you go over the top, and I don't want you to go where you could put him completely back into
where he used to be
and act like nothing in this season happened. Like, I don't want either way. I want you to stay as true as humanly possible that you can to this character. Meaning, you see how uncomfortable, how open he is about who he is, but still how uncomfortable he is around other people. Just take that to the next level, because his next evolution is him understanding that I don't need to hide who I am to be successful. And that's something that you have to broach to that subject. As far as the other characters, as you said, I want to see more Gidget, because that's the thing I'm constantly hearing. And she clearly is like one of the main people in the cast. So show me more about why she's a main person in this cast. I want to see more of her. I want to see more of Derek. Actually, I need you to explain how him and Miss Mississippi even ended up together, because they don't seem like a match. So it has to be something there that they even ended up together. I want to see more of that. I want to see more grandmother. Like, I need to see that. Loretta Devine is one of the national treasures in the Black community of actors. It's like, if I quickly, it's her, like Clifton Powell. It's a couple of other ones that I can name off the top of my head that if they're in something, I need to see them a lot. So I'm hoping that they give that character more shine. And again, Uncle Clifford is the star of the show.
Without a doubt.
I don't have anything to add to that.
At the beginning of it, let me just finish, because you ever had a thought in your head and I need to get it out because I can't fully form it the way I needed to.
I'm right behind
Uncle
you.
Clifford being the star of the show, I need to see him with more storylines that don't revolve around the Pynk. Because if you go back, if we in season 2, if we get to what the evolution of Uncle Clifford is, to me, that's great television. Because he didn't just, as his grandmother said, he didn't come out the pussy that way. So let expose of how he became comfortable enough with himself to give us the persona that he is showing us now. I would love to see that, because that's important to television. It's important to the community that this character represents. The show, like, hey, this is how this character came out. We're gonna have to show the tough things he went through to live the life that he's living right now. And I would love to see that. Just backstory, basically, on all these characters. Backstories on Gidget. Backstories on Derek and Keyshawn. Backstory possibly on Little Murda. Backstory on Mercedes. Like, I need to see these characters and how did they end up at the Pynk, the evolution of the Pynk as we move forward with the Pynk.
I'm just surprised that y'all haven't brought up something really critical. 2 things before I forget what I had to say is number one, you brought up Empire earlier. I just want to say that when you have a character who is a rapper, an inspired rapper, I'm getting all my words twisted right now. When you have a character who's an inspiring rapper, this shows a clear display of how you convince the viewers that this person can do it. Hakeem never. So help me God.
You was going with that.
So help me God. Not one song ever was I like, this is supposed to be the hottest artist.
Hey, Drip Drop was hot. I don't care what you say.
Drip Drop was
that beat was crazy. I ain't saying his lyrics was, but the beat was crazy. That beat was crazy, Joe.
But listening to
but I understand what you're saying.
But listening to Lil Murda, I'm like, yo, this is a star. Like, this is a. I mean, one of us was listening to the soundtrack before we got started recording. So no one has the Empire soundtrack on anything that they have. So it's just saying that
I'm not gonna say I was listening to the first season. I listened to that first season soundtrack of Empire. That joint had some songs on it. But I understand what you're saying of the building of the character wasn't there. Hakeem just came out of nowhere, and he's supposed to be the hottest nigga in the world.
Yeah.
And Little Murda, we've seen him build up to this point. We've seen him make whack ass shit, and they'd be like, "Nah, man,
what you doing with this?" Right.
Mm-hmm. So I feel like they did a good job again handling Lil Murda in all aspects, the character, the music, and conveying to us that this person is a star because the guy got hits. Like for the 3 songs, he got hits. He did it. He absolutely did it. So I need that versus battle between Little Murda and Hakeem.
I think a lot had to do with it because I went back before watching this episode. I went back and watched episode 7. The way they closed episode 7 with that the Mount Everest ain't got nothing on me song, as they showing the buildup of Little Murda, that was such a one. The shots there were amazing.
Yeah, they were. They were amazing.
Really good. They built that. This shows that you don't need a high budget to make cinematic television, because clearly this does not have a high budget, but they know how to angle some of these shots.
Is it that obvious?
These like to get these amazing angles on shots, including with the girls when they're dancing. Like that takes talent to be able to shoot that properly. And at least I have to pick up the shooters, the behind the scenes team for PValley for being able to pull that off. Because again, it is shows Empire, Lovecraft Country that have much higher budgets that can't pull off these type of shots. And PValley was able to pull it off. So that really goes to the talent of the people that you have behind the camera that you can actually do this. That's all I have to say. It was amazing when I went back and watched that whole setup with that song, and the way they shot that scene was great.
Yeah. So I mean, looking forward to next season. I know number one, we do have a murder on our hands because Montavious, right? Yeah. Was
the country name? That's a country ass name.
Was murder, and it was handled. But let's not forget that he's part of a gang, the Deltas, which he confirmed that hey, if I'm
not gonna tell you when I heard his name was named the Deltas what I thought.
I got nothing for it right now, not for the sake of this, but I'm just gonna leave that
alone. Wait a minute, we're gonna see a bunch of people
that I know. That's going to kick my ass for that.
All I know is that I was like, okay, we'll go with it. But nonetheless, yeah, you know, he said
got the wrong colors on.
He Go ahead.
Where's your crimson and cream?
Exactly.
I blame all on
Lucas.
Shit. I blame it all on Lucas. Johnny Walker Black.
Yeah. But yeah, eventually, I mean, they're gonna make an appearance. I guess that's what we're looking forward to with next season. That's kind of going to be the villain, the bad guys, whatever you want to call it for next season. As you know, they try to get the club back going now that they got the funding. But yeah, danger seems to be looming at any minute because here's why I look at this. So when they did the auction for the Pynk, you know, it started off at $55K, which means that no one in there had the money because obviously if they had $55K, it would have never went to foreclosure. So they started off $55K,
that part.
And then it was very interesting that what's his name?
Andre?
Andre only had $200K, which we know all of them had
$250. They telegraphed that one for us.
Yeah, I mean, like they make sure that it didn't take a genius to understand how that was all going to play out. But nonetheless, that means that she is now 250.
But
short.
Before we say that, did we also all pay attention to Andre didn't answer the call from the people to raise the price?
Oh, I know.
Hello. He called, but
he called, but when they answered, he hung up. meaning he knew they would have approved to go higher than 200K.
Exactly, because they wanted
he
that
didn't want them
property.
to. Yeah, he didn't want them to.
A business
that was his
man.
baby.
Feels like there might be some leverage there, but his wife is definitely hip, so
she's paying attention to the way he was looking at Autumn at that end, and that look she gave him.
Mm-hmm.
That's that. Oh, you fucked him look. I know that. I've been giving that look. I know what that look meant. And she was like, oh.
And the concierge at the hotel definitely made it.
I was just about to say that.
His hot ass, Joe.
Yeah,
that man had a palm tree sitting behind him. The way he just kept on straight.
I was expecting him to go to another level. I was expecting the wife to come out here and be like, honey, listen. And let's like tell everything humanly possible that Andre was doing in that room. He wanted to tell the truth. He must have been on somebody's court stand. I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I'm pretty sure if this show had more time, there's gonna be a lot more to that scene. But yeah, I don't know. Yes. I guess for me, like on my closing remarks, I really loved this season. I thought the cinematography was just amazing, and like you said, they did it with a smaller budget, but made some of these shots look like they were much more bigger than what they were. And I thought that even when they got the shots of the scaling the club, they got the shots of really the color rays going on, and I really appreciated the close-ups with Little Murda because it really gave you an understanding of that character without that character having to say words. So like when you see him thinking and focusing, we see him actually grasping, the stardom, even with Mississippi as well. That I think they did the same, a really good job with as well. Like, the cinematography is just really, really good. But overall, I went into this show first episode like I don't know about this, but it just continued to get better and better and deliver. And I think for 8 episodes, they knocked it out. So I can't wait for next season. So, anything else I want to add before we wrap up this?
I will say this. I hope that they don't get this high and don't challenge themselves to go higher for next season, because we've seen with many other shows that, especially when your first season has been such a success and everyone is talking about how great it is, they kind of come complacent and comfortable, and it gives off a mediocre performance. And I don't want that to happen. I want them to keep going and going and going and going. As you mentioned about the Delta devotees, I am intrigued to figure out what they're going to do, because Haley said something when she was like, too many people died over this money, which means that there clearly was some type of racket that she was a part of with her accounting job that we found out that that's what she was doing. And she got roped into it somehow, some way. Because if you notice, the picture of her and the baby and the other guy was not Montavious.
It was not.
And they mentioned some other guy, Ade or something, on episode 7. So I'm intrigued to figure out who all is it that Montavious spoke about that might actually come do some harm to her. So I just hope that it doesn't plateau. I hope that it continues to keep climbing higher in its delivery and its performance.
I got just 2 quick things. One, I have to apologize to my partner in crime who attempted to present to me the idea of reviewing PValley before it dropped. And I saw the first episode and I said, I am not watching Tyler Perry with strippers. It is not going to happen. Like, that's literally the first thing I said out of my mouth. I regret that 100% so. By the second episode, I was the one coming back like, no, we have to review this show. This show is something about this show that is amazing. So I do want to apologize for that. Second, I want to see what else we're going to get. I want to say her name right. Katori. Is it Katori Hall?
Katori Hall.
Katori Hall. I want to see what else we get from her. This is her baby from stage to screen. This is her baby. And she is an award-winning writer. I want to see who is going to, because of this show and the success of this show, it's going to be someone who's going to attempt to snatch her up to do other things. I'm extremely interested to see what else she brings us after PValley. While she's going to continue PValley, I know she has more ideas. Any great writer has at least 4 or 5 ideas that they're waiting to get out. So I want to see what else we get from her because of the success of PValley and just the actors in PValley, because these are a bunch of people who, before this show, were mainly stage actors. And I know on the outside looking in, it's just a show for most people about strippers, but these are stage performers. These are to be on the stage and perform versus being in a television show and a movie performing is
2 different levels of acting.
Yeah, they know what they're doing here. So I'm really interested in seeing this show and this becoming a launching pad for some of these actors going off and doing other great performances.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, we'll definitely be back for this show come season 2. It's definitely been a pleasure covering it for this season. Much like Lou said, definitely was thrown a curveball episode 1, but ever since episode 2, I was juicing up on this the entire time. It's an amazing show. I think you bring an excellent point about writers. I also want to add that some of these people who are casted in this show are friends of Katori. And she spoke about the nature of the strip club scenes and, how it only made sense that people that she's seen working on be a part of this. So, for the talented ladies who are in this show and bringing that really authentic feel, I mean, that just shows a lot of trust within both the creator here and the talent to really put this together. And the STARZ wasting no time greenlighting this for season 2 shows how much trust that they have as well. So, much like I say with other shows, when the creators have more of that saving grace of, we got room to wiggle here now. We got a little bit of breathing room.
They take it to the
we got a budget.
Exactly.
We got a budget.
Season
2 should definitely be something special. So I'm
definitely EPT go up by $300-$400. We gonna get it.
Can I ask you both a question real quick though?
Yes.
Me and Najir did the first half, the mid-season, and he asked me who was my favorite character. I want to know who's you all's favorite character, and has your character from mid-season, your favorite character from mid-season changed now that the season's over?
I think my favorite character then was, my mind easily says Uncle Clifford. And if it's Uncle Clifford, then, that character got nothing but better. Actually, the only character that really like rocket ship was Diamond to me. Diamond was always like that, what's going on? But once they started tapping into a little bit of the backstory, I was like, okay. So Diamond hasn't really hit the top, but I'll say that vast increase really brought much more intrigue. But I think without a doubt, just looking at it in its entirety, if it's not Little Murda's Mississippi are easily my 2 favorite characters from it. In a sense of not just fandom of these people, but like the overall story that both of these characters told.
So I'm at the mid-season point, it was clearly Uncle Clifford. And the reason why is because not only the character had all the best lines and all the best setup, I realized how important that character is. And that hit me a little differently because of how important that character is. To be as open with that character as they are, and for that character to mainline a show is groundbreaking. And for that reason, to me, at first, it was Uncle Clifford. Now, it still is Uncle Clifford. That is my favorite character on this show. But at the mid-season point, I think I became a bigger fan of Mercedes. Because she, just everything that character has to go through. At first, I just took her as someone looking for their way out. But now I took it, as it kept on going on, and you see the issues with her daughter, the issues with her mother, it was more of a character that wants to be saved, but she wants to save herself. And again, that is a highly important character. Those two characters are not seen on television. You don't see these characters on television. You don't see these characters on Black television. Like we normally get the strong male and a woman who may support him, but in turn, like she got everything together, so she's the real lead. Like, no, show me a character that's real, characters that have flaws that people can see and look up to. Like Mercedes she wanted to be a mother, but she couldn't be a mother because of her circumstances. So when I saw her with those girls and her trying to get them focused on the right thing and basically saying, you may see me do one thing, but that's not what I want for you. When you see Uncle Clifford do everything she went through with the Pynk, she still looked out for everybody. In the end, she was the den mother to everything possible. So while that character is known in the Black community, we don't see that character on television that much. So those are my two favorite characters because those are the two most important characters needed on television for Black people because we got every other type of character already, but we didn't have these type of characters.
Yeah,
I definitely.
She was going up and down the pole because Jesus Christ, the acrobatics and. Whew, all right. Yes. It's going.
Two of my favorites have remained my favorites, which is Uncle Clifford and Mercedes. Mercedes ranking number one because she's just, to me, she is that just, she's the animal. Like, you love to hate her, but at the same time, once you get to know everything that she comes with, you love her even more because you see how human she is, you see how strong she is, and you see how much she has given to try to get herself to get somewhere better, but she's still willing to give more of herself just to help somebody else out rather than be selfish with herself. And Uncle Clifford, you just see, you said something when you say we see the strong Black man and the woman behind him. The two of them are still that strong Black man and that strong Black woman. The difference is, for me, Uncle Clifford, even though she prefers feminine pronouns and is very effeminate coming across, there's still no need to forget I'm still a man and I will still handle my business as I see fit. Don't play with me. And even though she plays on that role of the den mother, as you spoke of, her heart is big, but she's still a protector. And she's willing to give all that she can to protect those that she loves. And you see that come across so clearly. But they're just a force to be reckoned with. And I cannot wait to see where their characters are going to go next season.
Agreed. All right. Well, we'll be back for we'll continue to evaluate and stay tuned for all the news that may come out with this show. But until the series actually drop, we will definitely be covering other things. So definitely stay subscribed for that. But as always, let us know in the comments, what did you think about this season? What did you think about the finale today? And if you haven't, you might want to check it out. If you watch this review all this time, you haven't seen it, I don't got nothing for you. But yes, season 2, I cannot wait for, and of course, we'll be around to review that as well. So thank you for watching this review, everybody, and we'll catch you very, very soon. Peace out.
Going to the Pynk.